Now some of you are watching this and you're thinking, oh, Snitterfield Part 2, I wasn't expecting that to be about carp fishing, and it actually isn't. Last Friday afternoon I came over, I met two smashing gentlemen, Merv and his friend, sorry I've forgotten his friend's name. I was chatting to them, they'd had a good morning here, and then they were leaving at about 1 o'clock, and I came and fished down the roadside bank because there was nobody here, and I wanted to get away from everybody so I could film, obviously, but also the wind was pushing into here, so I fancied it. So I fished with rod and line this time and not a pole, and I fished 2 swims, one at 45 degrees to the right, one at 45 degrees to the left, both out and about between 5 and 6 foot of water, a little bit deeper than when I was over the other side. I fished the right hand swim on pellets, 4mm pellets and a 6mm on the hook, and I fished the left hand swim with sweet corn and hemp. I had a rather good afternoon last Friday, but unfortunately I also had a microphone failure, so I've got some fantastic film footage but I've got no audio to go with it. I'd planned to come over here to make a part 3, and part 3 was solely going to be on carp fishing here. So I thought I'd come back today, and whilst I'm getting set up on here, I'd talk you through the film and let you know what happened on the day. Apologies that the audio won't be up to the usual thing, and there certainly won't be no lip syncing on there, and it will look like a cheap Japanese kung fu movie, but there we are. That's how it goes, happens to all of us. Anyway, whilst I'm getting set up, I'll talk you through what happened on the day. So I started off on a 6mm pellet on a size 14, £3 line, £3 hook length, small insert crystal waggler, and I fished that on the right hand side for about 5 minutes. Loose feeding a few small 4mm. I then swapped over to the left hand swim with a grain of corn where I'd been loose feeding with hemp, and had a bite almost straight away. I could tell by the way it was fighting hard, it either had to be a crucian or a tench. Luckily, when it popped up, there it was, a lovely little crucian. Nice way to start the session. I went straight back out onto the left hand swim and I was straight into another fish. I love the way they pop up. 2 crucians in 2 casts. Can't complain at that, can you? Well, staying on the left-hand swim because I couldn't get a bite on the pellet swim, I was soon into another fish. Bream this time. And my first fish from the right hand swim was another crucian. So I've got 3 crucians and 1 bream. That was my only fish from the right hand swim for a little while, so I went back onto the left hand swim, still loose feeding hemp and some corn. As you can see, it's taken a little while to get bites. Another bream this time. So in the first hour and a quarter, I'd got 5 fish to give you an idea. So it's one roughly every quarter of an hour. You wouldn't exactly describe them as climbing up the rod end. As usual, went really quiet for about an hour and a half. So I mixed up some ground bait. This was a mixture of 50% yellow ground bait, some method mix ground bait and some crushed hemp. And I added to that some hemp seed and a few grains of sweet corn, which I then dropped into the left hand swim, just 1 ball. Had lunch. After lunch, I soon had another fish on the left hand swim. Another bream this time. It's amazing actually how much the bream have grown since I was there about 2 years ago now, I think. I then had a bite on the right hand swim off of the pellet line. This turned out to be our first tench of the session, only a small one but very lively and scrapped quite well. The problem is they are really tricky to hang on to, and when I went to put this in the net, as you can see, it decided to head back into the lake on its own. The left hand swim was really starting to pick up now. Another bite, and this time a little roach. Actually, it was the only roach I had of the session. Another bream. I was trying to show it to the camera as it was a reasonable size, but unfortunately it was rather on the angry side, so I decided just to put it straight in the net. The problem was, because I was having to fish about a foot over depth to get it to hold against the breeze, the fish were taking it well down. Mind you, they were giving very good positive bites. That one turned out to be crucian number 5. I don't normally get that many in a session over here. The right hand pellet swim was really starting to pick up now. It's another bream, but it's fighting really well on the light float tackle. To cap it all, the camera had switched off because it needed a battery change just as I hooked this tench from the right hand swim. It never rains and then it pours, as they say. But fortunately, the next bite was another tench just as big, well actually a little bit bigger. So I was quite happy really. I got one for the camera. I stopped fishing at 5:15, so I had just 4 hours fishing, and in that 4 hours I had a total of 18 fish, 3 tench, 5 crucians, 1 roach, and the rest were bream. Once again, apologies for the audio, but until the next time, all the best with your angling.